Hello everyone, welcome back. You're watching the Data Labs. My name is Dilip. In this video, we are going to learn how to develop a fully automated data collator in Excel and VBA. So in this tutorial, we will focus on file system objects and its method to handle folder and files, and we will also use folder picker dialog box so that user can select the dialog a particular folder to collate entire data, all the Excel files available in that particular folder. Okay. So before moving ahead, let me show you the demo of that collator which I have already developed in Excel and VBA. And after seeing the demo, we will develop this collator from scratch. So let's move to the folder first where I have kept all those raw data basically. So this is the file, this is the folder basically files, and in that particular folder I have kept all those files, the demo file basically. It's a dummy data, you can see that all those files in that folder, and with the help of collator we will collate all those data, all the data which are available in all these files. So let's double click on any of the file. So let me open the file one. Okay, so now you can see that the worksheet name is data and it has total 11 column. Okay, total 11 column, and it's starting from employee ID, employee name, gender, date of birth, country, city, date of joining, supervisor, department, salary, and the status. So all these data are dummy data basically. So in the same manner I have created file 2, file 3, and file 4. So as of now we are only considering file 4, but it does not mean that this particular collator will work only for limited number of files. You can collate as many as file you want, and that will be very fast. Okay, so let's close this file and move to the dummy collator basically. So this is automated collator. So this particular collator has two different worksheet. One is home, that is for user interface. It means you can see that there is a command button available over here. You just need to click on collate and select a particular folder, and it will collate entire data, whatever the Excel file that will be available in that particular folder, right? And all those data will get collated in this particular worksheet. As of now you can see that this is blank. So let's move to home and see the how it works basically. So you just click on collate, and here we need to select the folder. So just move to the folder here, and let me copy the path because this all the files are available in the files folder. So let's move to the Excel and just give the path and OK. Now you can see that it has started working, and now it's collating, and now it has done. So data have been collated, thanks for using this tool. So this is the confirmation message. Now you can see that all those files, like from file 1 to file 4, let me show you file 4. So each and every record are available here. Okay, and apart from the basic data, like starting from employee ID to status, so we have one more additional column, that is file name. It means you can identify which records are coming from which particular file, and that will be very useful. Okay, so as of now I have considered only 11 column, and it's starting from column row 2, but you can make the modification, you can adjust the coding accordingly as per your requirement, and that will be very easy. So let's close this file and start this macro, like create this automated collator from scratch. So press Ctrl S and Ctrl W to close this file, this particular demo file. Now let's press Ctrl N and press F12 to save this file. Let's save this file at the same location where we have kept the files raw data. Make sure CVS type, that should be Excel macro enabled. Okay, just give any of the name. So the best name I think that would be like automated data collator version 1.0. okay, let's save this. Now we can see that this particular file has been saved with the name automated data collator version 1.0 XLSM. So don't forget to select the XLSM extension, otherwise it will not work. Okay, Now to develop this collator, we need two different worksheet in this particular file. So one is already there, just click on plus, and so one is for home and one is for collated data. So let's rename this worksheet 1, double click on that and give the name as home. Okay, now just double click on sheet 2 and give the name as collated data. Okay, press Ctrl S to save this file and just move to home worksheet. Now we need to create a command button over here and label for data control. So let's go to view and untick the grid lines and select this particular range, go to home and merge and center, and the back color should be on this one maybe, and the font color should be white, and font size should be 18. Okay, and just give the label as fully automated collator VBA. Okay, so now it's done. Let's fill this color with gray color, so this one. Okay, now we need to insert a command button over here, so just go to insert and select shape and select the rounded rectangle and just draw the rounded rectangle over here. Okay, again just go to home and select the color, so maybe we can select this particular color. Okay, and just right click on that, edit text and just write collate. Okay, let's select this and go to home, make this center, middle alignment and increase the size maybe 26. Okay, so that's done. Let's move to collated data worksheet and create the column header for each and every column basically. So the first column would be file name, so because we need to keep all those file name over here, so file name. And then second column will be employee ID, which will come from the raw data. Again, employee name, gender, date of birth, country, city, date of joining, supervisor, department, salary, status. So now we have given all those columns which are available in our raw data. So we have only one additional column, that is file name, for our internal purpose and for reference basically. Let's make it a little bit. Okay, just select this range, go to home and blue color and white, and select font size should be 12. Press Ctrl S to save this. So our collated data worksheet is ready. Let's move to Visual Basic application window. So to do that, just go to developer tab here and under code group just click on Visual Basic. So now you can see that we are on Visual Basic application, that is a separate window. So here this is the Excel window and this is the Visual Basic application window. Okay, so as I already told you that to develop this macro or to develop this collator, we will utilize the Filesystem Object. Okay, FSO and its method. So let's add the reference of FSO. To do that, just click on tools and then click on reference. Okay, and here there are a lot of reference available, so it is showing the list of available reference. So from this reference we need to select Microsoft scripting runtime. So just press M and then find the Microsoft scripting runtime. I think, okay, so this is, so Microsoft scripting runtime, the selected one. Just tick this and press click on OK. So now we have added the required reference, that is Microsoft scripting runtime, and this is required for file system objects. So let's to do the coding, let's add a module. So just click on insert and module. So let's keep the name same name, module 1. So now we have added the reference, we have inserted a module. Let's start coding. So first of all, we will add a procedure, that is it will start from sub, and here we need to give the procedure name. So let's give the name collate data, start bracket and close bracket, and just enter. So whenever you enter, the end sub statement will be automatically inserted by Visual Basic application. Okay, now we need to write entire code between sub collated data and end sub, between the both lines basically. So let's create some room and let's start declaring some variables, the required variables. So before declaring variables, let's add one statement, application dot screen updating is equal to false. So it will increase the speed of macro as well as and as well as it will freeze the screen so that user will not be able to identify what is happening behind the scene, right? So this is very useful. Just don't forget to use this application dot screen updating false. Okay, now let's declare some variables. So first of all, we need to declare and initialize the file system object. So let's declare with the dim. So with the statement dim, and let's give the name my FSO. So my file system object, this is a variable name which I am declaring as new file system object. Let's put comment so that whenever you download this file from my website, you can go through the comments and understand what is the reason of this particular statement. So let's declaring and initializing FSO, that is file system object. Okay, let's declare a workbook. So dim wkb source as workbook. So workbook variable to store the raw Excel file. Okay, press Ctrl S. Let's declare a variable. It's a long type variable. So dim I source row as long. So let's put the comment. So to store the last row number available in raw file. Okay, now let's declare dim I row as long. So let's put the comment to store the last blank row available in collated data sheet before pasting the raw data. Okay, now we need one more variable to store the row number after pasting the data. So dim I total row as long. Okay, let's put comment to store the last non-blank basically row available in collated data sheet after pasting the raw data. Okay, Now we need a variable, a string time variable, to hold the path, the folder of selected folder basically. So dim as path as string, okay, to store selected folder path. Now let's declare a variable, folder type variable. So dim source folder as folder, to store folder path. Okay, again we need file type variable. So dim my file as file, and it's a file variable for FSO. Okay, now we need one more variable, that would be a string type variable, to fetch the file name from the selected folders, so that we can use that file name while copying and pasting data from file name to collated data worksheet, okay, in column A. So let's name file name as string, to store the Excel file name for column A in collated data sheet. Okay, now let's declare one more variable to identify how many files are available in that particular the selected folder. So it may be like, suppose you have selected any of the folder and that folder has no file, so it means we need to prompt user that you have not select, there is no file available in selected folder. Or maybe some of the files are available, but that not, all those files are not Excel file, maybe some Word file, MS Paint file, PDF file. So we just need to ignore all those files, right? So to store how many files are Excel files are available in that particular folder, we need a variable. Okay, so let's declare dim I total files as long, okay, to store the count of all Excel files available in selected folder. Okay, and the last variable is dialog box variable. So as I already told you that we are going to utilize dialog picker, folder picker dialog box. So we just need a variable for that. So dim dialog box as file dialog, it should be dialog. Okay, let's put comment. Select the folder name. So we are going to utilize all these variables, and I have declared all these variables so that our coding will be more user friendly. Like whenever you need to refer this code, or whenever you need to modify this code, you can easily identify which variable is like what is the purpose of each and every variable. Okay, and it will also improve the readability of code, and that's why I have declared so many variables. Okay, so we have done with variable declaration. Let's start writing the code. So first of all, we need to assign, basically set the dialog box. So this is the generic dialog box variable, so we need to set the dialog box. So let's start set dialog box is equal to application dot file and dialog, and the dialog box would be this one, MSO file dialog folder picker. So we are not going to pick file, or we are not going to open the dialog box, open dialog box or save as dialog box. We just need to prompt a dialog box so that user can select a folder only, and that's why we are selecting MSO file dialog folder picker only, the second one. Press tab to select this and close the bracket. Okay, so let's put the comment for this line so that we can also understand later on. Assigning folder picker dialog box. Okay, done. Now we need to prompt this, open this dialog box. So let's start the writing the code. So with dialog box and with. Okay, let's move this code. Now we just need to provide the name of dialog box. So title should be I'm talking about the title. Okay, the title would be select folder. So you can give any of the title here. Please select folder, or any name, but I'm giving select folder so that user can identify, okay, I need to select folder only, right? And allow multi-select. So we are not going to allow multiple selection. Basically user will not be able to select multiple folders with the help of this dialog box, and that's why we are just going to make it false. Okay, and let's give the initial file name. So let's keep it a default application dot default file path. Okay, and suppose a user has opened this dialog box and just press the cancel, because user is not going to perform any of the collation activity or selection of any folder. So in that way we need code to come out from this particular sub procedure, the collate data. So the code would be if dot show is not equal to -1, then exit sub. Okay, so no folder selected, right? And the last would be we need to, suppose user has selected any of the folders, then we need to assign that particular folder path to s path variable. So s path is equal to dot selected items, and the item number would be 1, because we are not going to allow user to select multiple folders. So it means if user will select any of the folder, that would remain 1, and that's why we are not looping through each and every selection, because we have only one selection. Okay, so now we have done with the selection. So suppose user has selected any of the folder, then we need to identify, for safer side, we need to identify whether the selected folder is valid or not. It means suppose user has selected it, user is working on network drive, and user has selected any of the folders. In meantime someone has changed the folder name, so in that case it will prompt an error, and you will not be able to collect the data. So for safer side we need to check whether the selected folder is available or not, right? It's a very simple code. So let's check whether selected folder exists or not. Okay, so if that folder does not exist, then we will come out from this sub procedure, and we will prompt a message. Very simple code. So let's, if not myFSO, that is the file system object variable we have already declared, dot folder exist, and the path is already available in s path. So here we need to give the path. If that path is not available, then we need to prompt a message msg box stating that folder is not available. Okay, and vv okay only plus vv critical, and then error. Okay, and here we need to come out. So before come out, application dot screen updating is equal to true, because we have already freeze the screen updating, and then exit sub. and if. So if the selected folder will not be available, then it will directly come out from this procedure stating that folder is not available. Okay, so suppose folder is available, then it will skip this line of code, because it will not become true while validating while running the if statement. Okay, so suppose that folder is available, then we need to assign the s path basically to source folder, the FSO folder, the variable we have already declared. I'm talking about this variable. So let's set this, set source folder is equal to myFSO dot get folder, and here we need to pass the path, so s folder spath. Okay, so now we have successfully set the source folder with the given path. So let's identify how many Excel files are available in that particular folder, and if there would not be any Excel file, then it will prompt an error message that there is no Excel file, and it will terminate the code. Okay, so let's put the comment get the count of all Excel files available in source folder, and that is selected folder. Okay, so we have already declared a variable to store how many files are there, so that is the I total files. So let's utilize that, and let's initialize I to total files with 0. So initially we will assume that there is no file over there, and we will then loop through each and every file available in that particular folder, and if that file is not Excel file, then we will keep I total files is 0, and if any of the file would be Excel file or more than one file, then we will increase the count of I total files. So let's start writing the code. So for each my file, so we have already declared a my file variable for FSO in source folder dot files, next my file. So what it will do, it will loop through each and every file basically which are available in source folder files. Okay, and here we need to write the code to validate whether that is Excel file or not. So let's write the code. So if my FSO dot get extension name and then my file, and this file basically my file is equal to xlsx, and then here and if. So if the given file, suppose if the given file is xlsx, then what we need to do, we need to increase the count of total files. So the code would be I total files is equal to I total files plus 1. So initially I total files is 0, and suppose there is Excel file, it means it's 0 plus 1, it will become 1, and again it will loop through second file, and if that file is also xlsx file, then it will increase. So at the time second looping, it will be 1, and 1 plus 1 2, in the same way 3 4 5 up to whatever the number of files are available in that particular folder. If it will not find any the Excel file, then it will loop through, it will ignore this line of code, the if statement, and then it will move to the next loop, next file. Okay, so in that way we will identify how many files, Excel files, are available. Suppose I total is still 0, it means there is no Excel file. Okay, so in that case we need to prompt a message. Let's a code to terminate the code if there is no Excel file available in selected folder. Okay, so let's write the code. If total files is still 0, then and if. Here we need to prompt a message, so message box no Excel file available. Okay, VB okay only plus VB critical, and then again we need to error. Now we need to come out from this code. So before doing that, application dot screen updating is equal to true, and then exit sub. So now we have done with code. Assuming that we have like couple of Excel files available in that particular folder, then so let's write the code to compile the data. So here code to file the data from raw file to collator. Okay, so here again we are going to utilize the same logic. We will move through each and every files available in source folder. So let's copy this code, entire code, and just paste over here. So just remove this line. We do not require iTotals files because we have already calculated. So here we will write the code to compile the data. Okay, so let's create some space. Now we need to identify the last blank row number available in our collated data worksheet. So let me go through that. So we need to identify what is the last non-blank row number. So first time it will be 2, and suppose you pasted a couple of data, then it will become this one maybe, right? So in that way, so we need to identify it dynamically. So let's move to Excel, and the variable name is iRow here. So this workbook dot sheets, and the sheet name is collated data. You can see that collated data, right? And dot range, and here we will utilize the B, column B. Okay, B, and rows dot count dot end, and Excel up plus 1. So it will provide the next non-blank so blank row basically. So I think we need to remove this, just press. Now it's done. Okay, so it will provide the last blank row available in collated data worksheet. Press Ctrl S to save this. Now we need to extract the file name. So we have already declared a variable, and the variable is file name. So just use this file name and myfso dot get file and name, and we need to get the file name from my file variable. Okay, so it will store, my file name will store the file name, like file 1, file 2, file 3, and file 4. Okay, press Ctrl S again. Let's put a comment so that you can easily identify the purpose of code. So code to identify the last blank row number in collated data sheet. Okay, and here store the file name. Okay, now let's open the first file. So let's go to open the raw file. So as we have already declared a variable that is wkb source, so let's use this variable. So set wkb source, let me, okay, just yeah, wkb source is equal to books workbooks dot open, and here we need to pass file name. The file name would be my file, this one, the file, comma, and we will open this raw data file in read only mode. Okay, so read only true. So with the help of this line of code, we have opened the first file. Okay, so we have opened the raw data. Here we need, what we need to do, we need to identify the last non-blank row, basically from where we need to copy the data till where. Okay, so we know the starting raw data is from 2, but we do not have idea how many records are in our raw data. So for that we need to identify the last non-blank row available in our raw data file. So to do that, we will utilize the same line of code, this one, but that will be different because we have different variable. So let's put the comment code to identify the last non-blank row available in raw data Excel file. Okay, so I source row. Okay, I source row is equal to, we have already opened this variable, the workbook, and the workbook we have assigned in wkb source. So wkb source dot worksheet sheets, and the sheet name is data dot range, and here we rows dot count x dot end, and then excel up dot row. So it will provide the last non-blank row from the raw data worksheet. Okay, now suppose there is Excel file, but in that Excel file there is no data, right? There is only header. So in that case we need to ignore that file which has no data, basically, right? So to let's put the comment, if there is no data in the current open file, raw data, basically raw data, then we need to ignore that file. Okay, so to ignore that we just need to write the code. So if I, this variable, so if I source row is equal to 1, then we will create a label so that we will directly jump to that label. So just let's give the name, then go to next loop. Okay, and here let's create a loop. So next loop. Okay, and let's write the code wkb source dot close, save changes is equal to false, and set wkbso your source is equal to nothing. Okay, so suppose there is no raw data, so it means it will directly jump from this line of code to this line of code, and it will close the file which is open right now, and it will release the variable, the memory of that variable, and then again loop to next file, and it will perform the same steps. And if again that file will have no data, then it will again jump to this line of code, and then close the file, and again release the memory, then go to next loop, next file, open that file, and if that file will have some data, then it will perform the activities, the code which we will write over here. Okay, so suppose that particular file has some data, So it means we need to write the code to copy the data from that particular file to our collated data worksheet. Okay, so let's put the comment code to copy the raw data from Excel file, raw data file. Okay, press Ctrl S. So we know the file name, so let's copy this code starting from here. Okay, so wkb source dot sheets data is our worksheet name in raw data file, and we know the row number, so it starts from A2 2, and the last column is K. Okay, and then we know the last row number with the help of this variable iSource row, so I row. Okay, dot copy. So with the help of this line of code, we will copy the data. Okay, here we are selecting the range starting from A2 to K and till last row. Suppose your data is starting from row number 4 or row number 6, then you just need to change the reference and replace this 2 to 3 or 4 depending on from which row your data is starting in raw data file. Okay, now we need to write the code, we need to paste the data. So let's go to paste the copied data to collated data sheet. Okay, so let's write the code. So this book dot sheets, and the sheet name would be collated data. So see, collated data dot range, and we need to paste it on B, and we do not know what is the next row basically. So we will utilize the variable that is dynamic, and we have already find out what is the next blank row. So I row dot paste special, and here we are going to paste only values. Okay, so with the help of this particular line of code, whatever we have copied the data, we will paste it on cell B I row, and I row is dynamic, so it will automatically identify the next blank row basically, and it will paste the data there. Okay, now we need to fill the file name against each and every record, whatever the records we have copied from source file and pasted it to collated data worksheet. So we know the initial row, we just need to identify what is the last row number after pasting the data. Okay, so first of all, let's application dot cut copy mode, let's false. It means we are releasing the clipboard basically. Press Ctrl S. Now let's write the code. So comment basically code to identify the last non blank row in collated data sheet after pasting the raw data. Okay, so let's the variable is I total row, and here we are going to identify. So let's copy the previous code which we have already written for I row. So let's copy this code and paste it against I total row, and here we do not need to add one because we are just identify the last non-blank, not last blank. Okay, so it will provide the last non-blank row after pasting the data. Let's write the code to update the file name against each and every record. So code to update the file name. Let's start this workbook dot sheets collated data dot range, and as we are utilizing column A to update the file name, so let's A, and the first row number would be I row, okay, and then ampersand column, and again A I total row dot value would is equal to file, so file name. So I think we are doing a mistake, we need to ampersand. And what is this file name? The file name we have already stored the file name, basically file 1 2 3 4. So this is done. Press Ctrl S. Now let's write the code to prompt user that all the files available in that folder has been compiled. So let's MSG box data have been collated, thanks for using this tool. VB OK plus VB information, and it's done. And then here application dot screen updating, that would be true. So now the coding is done, so you can see that. Let's go to debug and compile. So I think iSource SOURCE, so iSource variable debug compile. Okay, so you can see that there was only one error where we made a mistake while typing the variable name, that was iSource row. Now everything is looking good, so let's press save this and move to Excel. Okay, go to home worksheet, and now we need to assign the macro. Just right click on this particular button, assign macro, and it's collated data. I think this workbook only, and we have only collate data basically. Click on OK. So now we have successfully assigned the macro. Let's compile the data. So before compiling, press Ctrl S and just go to the raw data file. Just copy this folder location, move to the Excel and click on collate. So now here, as of now, we do not have any data. Let's move collate and give the path over here. Click on OK. I think we have made some mistake. Okay, so I think we have forgot to add the row here. Row, let's check here we have already added row, and again here we need to add dot row, and one thing we have already added row here, then Excel append row. Okay, press Ctrl S, again go to collate and paste the folder, the path. Click on OK. Now you can see that there is no error, it is compiling, and its prompt message is data have been collated, thanks for using this tool. Let's move to the collated data. Here you can see that it is providing the file, the name, the path, basically from where data is coming, and all those data available in file 1 2 3 4. So this is very easy and very effective, and I think this particular tool will be very useful if you are working on any of the company where you are getting a lot of data basically, and you just need to compile the data. We have a lot of methods, like we can compile the data with the help of Power Query or Power Query or Power Pivot, but I think Visual Basic application is one of the best way to collate the data, right? And you just need to put efforts like 30 minutes of coding maximum, and you can develop a complex collator with the help of whatever the codings we have written over here, and it will help you in saving a lot of time, right? So thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe and comment. Have a great day. Bye bye.